awake, a little more alive. So this is the beginner routine, suitable for everybody. Usually try and have a little bit of a different focus each time, and today I kind of wanted to just focus on a couple of practical skills. So we're going to do some stretching in the beginning after we do just kind of a blood-flowing preparation, and then we're just going to do some things that might come handy with life, and then at the end we're going to dance as we always do. So we have moved from merengue to bachata, and merengue, if you want that, we have separate videos, and you can come back and see kind of the end of the lives from, I think it's about a month ago we finished up with that one, and merengue is dance that everybody can learn. So, all right, there, flies, magnetizing your feet to the earth, sticking them there, super solid down below. And today we're just going to loosen and straighten our knees. You know, the loosening and the straightening, it's not really knee bend, it's just letting them go, and then push them back in place because we get a little movement in there before we actually start to bend them. And we're going to do a fair bit of knee bending today, so I think I'm going to go loosen and straighten there. And bring your shoulders up and down. And really shake your head from side to side, just a little bit. And then bring it back to the center. And we're going to nod down very slowly. All of this is at the top of your neck, like a bubblehead. And from side to side, a little bigger this time. And coming back to the middle, if you have any neck pain, leave this one alone. At the top of the neck. Here's going to go to my shoulder. And it's going to come up. And into the shoulder. Into the shoulder. Small movements. I always exaggerate. But we're all different, we're all unique. Alright, so I want you to push your shoulders forward and push them back. And butterflies, if you have something nearby that's sturdy today, it would be great if you have a table or a counter maybe. Because we're going to be using it to hold on to. Bring back, pushing my shoulders forward and back. And I'm arms first. I do want to do the waist though too. So we're going to do this. First we're going to start edging away. So we're going to turn away until we feel a stretch in this shoulder. Hand is flat on the wall, it doesn't move. My wall's imaginary because we don't have one right here. And then you're going to come back. Put your other hand on the wall. And baby steps out. You feel a stretch in the shoulder. And I want to do that again. So back and then outwards. A little stretch there. And then going back. And put the elbow away from your wall because we are going to do our twist. So this time we can keep both hands flat on the wall. Our shoulders are going to stay facing the wall, but our legs are going to walk. So I want you to try and feel it right here. So your hips are going to turn, your half is going to stay where it is. Now, I exaggerate everything, but we're all different, especially if you've never stretched this part of your body before. You need to go where you feel a nice pull, but it should not be painful. And you're keeping your front part facing the wall. And you shift to the other side. And let's do that once more. This way. And shifting the other way. And coming back. And let's go down to, since we've got a wall right here, we'll stretch out our calves, swinging into the front one. And again, you have to adjust this depending on how much flexibility you have. But you want that back leg straight. So bring it in closer if you feel it bending, and your weight is forward. And you're hanging on to whatever it is. The wall, if you have something else there, just for balance, you don't want to lean on it, you want to stay up straight. And then bring it in. It is in the middle. And we're bending your knees to feel a little bit of a different stretch, a little bit lower. We're going to switch legs. And front one, back leg is straight. Head has a little balance on it. And bring it in. There, straight down. And another stretch there. And still holding onto that wall for balance. We shift our weight forward. And trying up your heels and back. And you're like a board, so you're not bending forward. You're laying flat like a board. Using whatever you have there for balance. And then you're digging your toes into the ground to push yourself back. And going forward. And back. And now forward just a little bit. And see if you can move those heels. And back. And again, hanging onto something. Shifting our weight. And move our ankles from side to side. It's just your ankle, not your leg. And flapping it up and down. And shift another leg. Oh, ankle wiggles. And ankle flips. And we're going to lift our core. 14 butterflies. You know what, let's do 16 today because we're only going to do one set. 16, yes. I got this. All right, so I'm standing up straight. And you can loosen your knees a little bit if you want. You feel like getting a great big cramp. But as we come up, I'm going to feel like this middle part is getting longer, 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 longer. It's stretching out to like goo or taffy or gum, something very stretchy in this middle part. All right, butterflies. And 1, and 2, and each time you want it to work, so stretch it out, and 3, and it's getting longer, and 4, and 5, and 6, place for everybody. And we're going to tighten our legs before stretching our knees so we can go over our toes. And then we're going to push the ground away from us and launch ourselves in here. We're going to bounce our head, legs bending, and pushing the ground away, tightening your legs, knees going over your toes, and pushing the ground away, and legs tightening, knees going over your toes, and pushing the ground away, legs tightening, knees going over your toes, pushing the ground away with that bounce in your head. Shake that, and now you're going to stretch. All right, so. And then forward. And then we're going to straighten our knees without coming. Keep our body in the same place. And then we'll try to lower. And we're going to straighten out. The body doesn't move. The body's just straighten. And down. Even if it's the sun here. Less the sun. And straighten the knees. And down. To position our feet for balance. So here we want a really, really steady base because we're going to be reaching down, and that one foot is kind of facing forward, but it's not exactly forward, it's a little bit to the side. So I have one leg that is facing straight ahead mostly, and the other that is one way, because you want to make your base as wide as possible, as sturdy as possible. And we're going to be going down to get something off of the floor. So we want our weight to be pretty evenly distributed, but unless you're flexible enough to just reach down and grab it, you want to get yourself a little bit closer to the floor. And you want to bend your knees. That's why we do our knee bends every day. Your knee bends, you can possibly brace yourself, but the one hand is going to be reaching down and taking something off the floor. Now here's when we stretch out our shoulders here. That'll give you that much more length to reach down. So if something drops on the floor, if you have to grab something, reach down and stand up again. So remember, you're pushing the floor away from you, and this is lengthening as you straighten up. So all the skills we do here are everyday life skills. So we're going to repeat that one. Standing on the floor and pushing the ground away and lengthening here. Now, important to let your knees bend before your body goes down. You don't want to lift anything like that, even if it's light. So, down, and pushing the ground to come up, and this lengthens, and your shoulder goes back in place, and reaching down, and it's back in place. How many was that? I want to do 5 of those. I think that was about, was that 3 or 4? All right. Well, this is definitely at least 4, so let's do one more. There it lies. Reaching down. And coming back up. And giving your legs a little shake. Let's move to the other side. And again, planting one foot more or less straight. The other is going to turn away from you. Give yourself an extended bit of base. And you want to bend your knees. So remember how we tighten our legs before we actually bend them, so they give you more support. And once your knees are bent, hips, we're going to shift it onto one of our legs. So we're squared, over one leg is stacked, but we're leaning a little bit forward. We're going to take this leg that's still free, and we're going to pull the knees straight up in the air. And the knees straight in the air. The knees straight in the air. So flip flies. If you have to climb stairs, if you have to climb something else, this is what you're going to do. And back. So we're going to be pushing our weight forward. So we're going to start by on our toes. And then we're going to shift that square onto the other leg. And then this leg is going to be free to lift up. And that's what we want. We want to make sure that if we're trying to lift this leg and our weight is on it, that makes it hard, especially if you're trying to get up on something taller. Push it here, and lift this leg up, and 3, 4, and 5, and back, and shift your weight back to where it was. All right. If you have seating in your body, I have lots of seating in your body. And a couple of chair exercises. Each other. Okay. So we are going to start. Let's do our lower back exercises just because we're here seated already. So let your lower back relax. And then tighten your abdomen and you want to push this lower back forward. Straighten up. And relax it. And using kind of pushing your tail into place. And tighten your abdomen. There you go. And pushing, pulling, 3. Down. And again, 4. And relax. 5. This is very good for your lower back. And relax. And then sit up once again. So this is the first thing you're going to do, is you're going to push this lower back in place, take your abdomen, and then you're going to lean your body weight forward, and you're going to tuck your feet a little bit backwards, so you can push into the front of your feet, and from here, you straighten up, and then reverse it. We're going to go down, and lean and push back, so we're sitting, and turn back. First we're going to lower back and abdomen, leaning forward, legs a little bit underneath you, and the weight is mostly on your toes, at least until you get to position where you can straighten up. And reversing, going back down. Weight is forward, your body is forward, down, last one. So your lower back, your abdomen, and forward, it's a little bit underneath you, so a little farther than it would be if you were standing. And your body is going to lean forward, so with the toes, and from there, get under balance, and straighten up. Real fast, get that good. Lower seating too. All these are just things that I think about as we go about our day. All right, flies. So my favorite part, dancing part. All right, so we have been learning on each other. Quick review of the steps we know. So we're going to start our left foot to the side, step together, step, tap right, right together, right, tap left, left together, left, tap right. So you're always stepping on the foot that taps. So here we go, left, and to the right. So that is called our basic step, and we always return to it, step home base. And then we've gone forward and back. Now to the forward and the back, our feet are not underneath, they're just left, right, tap. And then we can go back to a basic from here. So left together, left tap, right, right, together, right tap, left. And then we do a step tap, which is just a step tap, step to the side, tap the other foot, and step back, making. And we've been doing some arms. So if we do a basic, we're just going to try and separate our arms from our legs so they move independently. And we stood in place to do our arms, lifting up an arm, letting it drop to your head. And down to your side, brushing, lifting your arm up. And letting your elbows go straight to the ground. Tight your body. We're going to do these just standing. So it comes to your head, and the feeling is that you go weight in your elbow, that's bring it straight down. And then your hands going to fall until you brush yourself. And this one's going to come up. Drop your head. And that weight is in your elbow. And then you just drop your head and you can brush it off. And we also did the no steps. So we're just going to go as though we're stepping from side to side, but just kind of bouncing like we're throwing a ball from hand to hand. That's what we did there. And then we're going to do an exercise that, if you remember merengue, it was just an exercise, but in this, I want us to do it because soon we're going to be actually applying it. So, if you remember merengue, which merengue is just this, it's just walking pretty much, but we did one exercise where we started to rotate, but we're going to leave one leg behind. So our shoulders and our hips and this front leg rotated, this leg stayed facing where it was. So you see, I'm kind of facing one direction. Oh, I forgot about this leg. So we're going to be doing that from here, but we're just going to be doing a step and back, and step and back, and step and back. So this is just a step outwards, like you're going to rotate, while keeping this leg in place. Now, we're all unique individuals, so you don't have to be crazy. Just, you want to keep yourself square, so see how much you can step while keeping your body square. And that's what we're going to do today. So, if you want to just follow along, we will repeat all that with the music. Left, together, left, right, right, flare flies. We'll be right back with the intermediate routine. Bye.